The 2025 WNBA preseason tipped off with serious fireworks Friday night, as the Dallas Wings squared off against the defending champion Las Vegas Aces at Notre Dame's storied Purcell Pavilion. And man, what a setting!
The playoffs. Carrington dodging one defender, and the first points of this preseason going to the Wings.
An electric mix of the past, present, and future of women's hoops. You had Paige Bueckers making her long-awaited pro debut, Arike Ogunbowale lacing up on her old college floor, and Chris Koclanes calling his first game as Dallas's head coach.
I'm very encouraged. Our rookies haven't really felt like rookies. They've had some rookie moments, but just really encouraged at how fluid the first 4 days have been. They're picking things up quick, they're applying, and they're competing like crazy.
Big names, big moments, and a packed house hungry for basketball. Dallas rolled out a starting five that turned plenty of heads. Bueckers at the point, flanked by Ogunbowale, Dejonai Carrington, Nalissa Smith, and Tiara McCowan anchoring the middle. From the jump, the Wings came out aggressive, cutting, defending, sharing the ball, and even managed to take a 25-23 lead after the first quarter.
Shot clock down to 3. J-Yo and 1!
It was far from polished, but you could see the raw potential. There were flashes of chemistry, especially when Koclanes started mixing and matching his rotations, giving the Wings a jolt of energy and creativity. But then, welcome to the big leagues. The second quarter was all aces, and it got ugly in a hurry. Las Vegas came out of that short break with a different level of intensity, launching a blistering 32-11 run that completely flipped the game on its head.
Rooting herself and... Lloyd.
Their pace, their execution, their depth, it was a reminder of why they've been at the top of the mountain. By halftime, the Aces were in full command, leading 55-36, and they didn't let up. The third quarter saw Dallas try to claw their way back in, putting up 27 points, but Vegas matched them and then some. Aja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Kelsey Plum were in mid-season form, pushing the tempo, making the extra pass, defending like it mattered. The Aces outscored the Wings again in the third, 32-27, and slammed the door shut with a dominant 25-15 fourth quarter to cap off a 112-78 statement win. Sure, it's just preseason and there were plenty of learning moments for Dallas, but the flashes from Bueckers were encouraging, and Ogunbowale looked right at home back in South Bend. For Koclanes, it's a starting point. For Vegas, business as usual. Hey, real quick, if you've made it this far, I'm guessing something here spoke to you. Maybe it made you think, laugh, or even just nod your head a little. That means we're already connecting, and I'd love to keep that going. Subscribing isn't about joining some massive list or being spammed with stuff you don't care about. It's just a way for you and me to stay in the loop. When something worth your time pops up, whether it's a story, an idea, or just a fresh perspective, you'll be the first to know. No pressure, no fluff, just real content straight to you. So, what do you say? Hit that subscribe button and let's keep this thing going. All night long, Dallas was tinkering with its rotations, testing out different looks and combinations. One of the more interesting wrinkles? Extended small ball stretches where Nalissa Smith and Myisha Hines-Allen held it down at the 5. Those lineups brought speed, space, and some slick ball movement, but they came with a price. Without a true rim protector on the floor, the Wings struggled to hold their own on the glass. And the Aces, they didn't miss a beat. Las Vegas pounced on the mismatch, owning the boards with a 40-28 rebounding advantage and piling up second chance points like clockwork, 20 in total to Dallas's 8. It wasn't just size, it was positioning, effort, and a whole lot of experience. Every miss felt like another opportunity for the defending champs to reset and punish. The real turning point came in the second quarter. That's when Las Vegas flipped the script defensively and dropped into a zone, and from there, it was all downhill for Dallas. The Aces packed the paint, shut down driving lanes, and dared the Wings to beat them from outside. The pressure was suffocating. Suddenly, the clean looks were gone, the rhythm evaporated, and the turnovers started flowing. Live ball giveaways turned into fast breaks the other way, and what was once a close game quickly became a runaway. It was a masterclass in mid-game adjustments by Las Vegas, and a harsh but valuable lesson for a young Dallas team still trying to find its identity. After the game, head coach Chris Koclanes didn't sugarcoat it, and he wasn't wrong. Despite being undersized during some key stretches, Dallas still showed flashes of what their identity could be under Koclanes. When they pushed the pace and attacked downhill, there were moments that popped. They actually outscored the Aces in the paint 30-24 and even edged them slightly in fast break points 11-9. That up-tempo DNA? It's in there. You could see the vision starting to take shape. But the turnovers, those were the killers. Dallas coughed it up 19 times, and far too many were of the live ball variety. Bad passes, stripped drives, rushed decisions under pressure, each one turned into transition fuel for the Aces. And when Las Vegas gets out and runs, it's lights out. They not only made Dallas pay with buckets in transition, but they were surgical at the free throw line too, knocking down 22 of 25. The Wings, by comparison, got to the line just 13 times and made 11. So while the flashes of promise were real, they were constantly undercut by self-inflicted wounds. For a team trying to build something new, that's the kind of stuff that has to get cleaned up fast. For Jackie Young, Friday night was more than just a preseason tune-up. It was a homecoming, and she made sure it was unforgettable. Back on the floor where she once starred as a Notre Dame standout, Young looked completely at ease, torching the net for 28 points in under 30 minutes of action. She was red hot from beyond the arc, drilling 8 threes. And leaving no doubt that she's back to full strength after an offseason focused on regaining her rhythm following last year's injury setbacks and her stint at Unrivaled. And she wasn't alone in lighting it up. The Aces, as a whole, looked like a team already in mid-season form. A'ja Wilson did her usual damage, dropping 19 points, pulling down 7 boards, and commanding the floor with her steady presence. In total, 4 Las Vegas starters finished in double figures, and the team shot a blistering 48.7% from the field and 43.8% from 3. It was clean, efficient basketball from a squad that's made dominance a habit. For Young, the performance was more than just numbers. It was a statement, a reminder of who she is and how much she still has to give. And on a floor filled with memories, she created a few more. Jackie Young made it clear she's finally starting to feel like herself again. That much was obvious on the court. Her performance wasn't just efficient, it was electric. And it fits seamlessly into what the Aces have built, a team loaded with experience, chemistry, and championship DNA. Chelsea Gray pointed to that exact foundation when talking about the team's sharp execution. Even with new faces, the Aces already look synced up, and that cohesion starts from the top down. Head coach Becky Hammon, entering another season with title expectations, wasn't concerned with the final score so much as the culture being established. That mindset showed in her rotations. Even with the Aces holding a comfortable lead for much of the night, Hammon kept her starters in for extended minutes, not to run up the score, but to send a message. Tone setting isn't just for October. For Las Vegas, it wasn't just a win, it was a blueprint. One built on trust, toughness, and the quiet confidence of a team that knows exactly who it is. Becky Hammon wasn't interested in box scores or blowouts, she was locked in on something deeper. And while Las Vegas was setting the tone for a championship repeat, Friday night also marked the beginning of a much different journey, Paige Bueckers' first steps as a pro. The rookie guard out of UConn got the start in her WNBA debut and made the most of it, logging a team-high 22 minutes. She finished with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Not earth-shattering numbers, but what stood out was her poise. Bueckers looked steady from the jump, showing off her court vision, feel for the game, and that signature coolness under pressure. The pace was faster, the hits a little harder, but she didn't look out of place. With barely any time to reset between the end of her college career and the start of training camp, Bueckers leaned heavily on her fundamentals, footwork, timing, anticipation to bridge the gap. The transition is never easy, but her instincts and feel for the game already look pro-ready. Now, it's about reps and rhythm. For Dallas, her debut was one of the bright spots in an otherwise tough outing. And for Bueckers, it was just the beginning of what promises to be a fascinating rookie campaign. For Paige Bueckers, it's been a whirlwind, and she's the first to admit it. Still, there's no easing into the WNBA when your first assignment is facing the defending champs. Taking the court against Las Vegas offered a crash course in pro-level intensity, and Bueckers soaked it all in. When asked where she felt the biggest difference compared to college, she didn't hesitate. And of course, with the number, one pick comes the microscope, expectations, headlines, and non-stop comparisons. But Bueckers isn't buying into the noise. Then she added something that feels like a mission statement. While Bueckers' debut drew plenty of attention, she wasn't the only Dallas rookie who impressed. JJ Quinterly came off the bench and lit it up, leading the Wings in scoring with 16 points on 7 of 10 shooting in just 17 minutes. She was a spark, quick, Fearless and always in attack mode, her burst gave Dallas a much-needed lift. Aziaha James also made the most of her minutes, flashing confidence and scoring punch that could carve her a role in this rotation moving forward. Between Bueckers, Quinterly, and James, Dallas has the bones of a dynamic young core that, with time, could grow into something special. Aziaha James made sure her moment didn't slip by. In her first taste of WNBA action, the rookie guard put up 10 points in just 15 minutes, playing with poise and confidence while staying locked into her role. James brought a balanced scoring effort, hitting from deep, attacking off the dribble, and finding teammates on cuts. She showed flashes of a polished offensive package, but she knows there's still work to be done, especially on the other end. She wasn't the only rookie logging early reps. Number 14, overall pick Madison Scott got over 6 minutes of floor time, though her presence didn't register much in the box score outside of a single foul. Arinette Vonleh, taken 31st overall, grabbed 1 rebound in 9 minutes. For both, it was about getting a feel for the pace and physicality early steps in a long journey. As the young players found their footing, the veterans were also adjusting to new roles under Chris Koclanes' system. Maddie Siegrist continued her steady rise, chipping in 11 points on 5 of 10 shooting. What stood out most was her off-ball movement, smart cuts, timely flashes, and the kind of energy plays that don't always show up in the stat sheet, but shift the game's momentum. Her athleticism and motor have been standout traits throughout training camp, and the staff has responded by sliding her into minutes at the 4, where she continues to thrive. Siegrist's ability to adapt and contribute in different spots could be key for a Wings team still tinkering with lineups and trying to build identity. Chris Koclanes didn't need to overthink it, he's seen this before. That kind of steady, high-energy presence helped anchor a Wings team still finding its rhythm, especially as veterans adjusted to new roles and rookies got their first taste of the league. One of the night's most emotional moments came when Arike Ogunbowale returned to her old stomping grounds at Notre Dame. The crowd erupted as her name was called during pregame introductions, a warm nod to the 2018 national champion who built a legacy on that very floor. Back in familiar territory, Ogunbowale logged 22 minutes, finishing with 5 points and 3 assists. The numbers didn't pop, but her leadership was evident. Still, it's clear there's an ongoing adjustment happening between her and Paige Bueckers as the two navigate early chemistry and share backcourt responsibilities. That learning curve extended to Dijonai Carrington as well. The versatile wing brought her usual intensity, grabbing 5 rebounds and scoring 6 points in just under 17 minutes. But it wasn't her cleanest outing. Carrington turned the ball over 4 times and went just 1 for 3 from the field. Her 4 free throws helped salvage some scoring efficiency. As the Wings continue to build under a new head coach with a retooled roster, moments like these, both the growing pains and the bright spots, will shape how quickly this group can gel. Finishing without a single rebound in nearly 14 minutes of action. She tallied just 3 points and 1 assist, struggling to assert her usual interior dominance. Nalissa Smith, splitting time between the 4 and small ball 5, also couldn't quite get into a rhythm. She ended the night with 8 points, 3 boards, and 1 assist. Solid on paper, but lacking her usual impact. Still, with a new coach and a restructured lineup, these early bumps weren't unexpected. Every player saw the floor, with all 16 logging minutes and 10 reaching double figures in playing time. Bueckers and Ogunbowale led the way at 22-37 each, offering valuable time together as they start to build chemistry in the backcourt. The Wings now shift their focus to the next phase of preseason prep. They'll return to the practice floor Sunday ahead of their second exhibition matchup, this time against international competition. Dallas will face Japan's Toyota Antelopes on May 10th, another opportunity to tighten rotations, build cohesion, and get closer to answering the many questions surrounding this promising but evolving squad.